Hi, I'm B, the passionate cook.
Hi, I'm Vernita, the reluctant cook.
And this is Pinch Dash Done, Cooking with Friends. Our goal is to educate and inspire you with flavorful recipes and stories of exceptional achievement from our guests. So gather around your table, relax, and get prepared to feed your mind, body, and soul. Remember, Pinch Dash Done is more than a cookie. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pinch Dash Done, Cooking with Friends. And today, my guest is Miss Christie LeFleur, a math nerd, a fellow math girl that I met, maybe 2 decades ago, at least.
The 90s.
In the 90s. Oh, another century.
yeah, a whole nother century.
A whole nother century. But I invited her because getting to know she and her husband, Dale, has been one of the greatest joys of my life. And they are owners of a bookstore. So I'm going to let Christie tell you a little bit more about what she does.
So we have a bookstore down in downtown beautiful Galveston, Texas. And that is one of our passions. And so with B, you just make your passion your paycheck.
Yeah. So, Christy, you and Dale are really living the life. Your bookstore is right there on the Strand. And those of you that are not familiar with Galveston, look up Galveston Strand because they have a great Mardi Gras every year. And there's always something going on. They're right by where you get on the cruise ship. So if you're ever down there, make sure you stop by the bookstore. Give them your address.
Yes, it is 317 23rd Street. Right in between Market and Mechanic. So stop on by and see us.
Now tell us about your living situation.
So that's the fun part, is that we have a little apartment upstairs. We call it our hovel, and we live above the bookstore.
Wow. Now, our whole purpose with Pinch Dash Done Cooking with Friends is not only to share recipes with you guys and bring families back together to fellowship at the table, but also to share inspirational stories. And Christy and Dale's story is truly inspirational because they followed their dream with the bookstore. And this is not the first bookstore that you guys have had.
It is not. No, this is number 3. Unfortunately, a hurricane wiped out the first one, but we have one in Port Neches, Texas, and then this is our second location.
So I guess the moral of the story is when life gives you those lemons, you make lemonade. So because the first one got wiped out, you didn't say, to heck with it.
We didn't.
You started over.
We said we got to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah, reinventing themselves. Well, speaking of reinvention, today we're going to reinvent some down-home recipes. How many of you like sweet potatoes? I bet there are some of you that do. And most people bake them, cover them with cinnamon and nutmeg and sugar and butter. And they really are delicious that way. But today, it's sweet potatoes with a twist. And we're going to do jerk, shrimp, and mashed sweet potatoes. Yeah, I did say mashed sweet potatoes with that jerk shrimp. Hold on, you're gonna love this recipe. So Christy is here to help me, and we're just gonna continue to chat about life.
Yep.
Maybe throw in some math. You will not be tested, but we're just gonna have some girl talk as we do this, which is what we do in the kitchen, and this is what we are all about. We want to encourage you to just have those conversations. So, Christy, first of all, I've got the sweet potatoes, and this time I chose the red sweet potatoes.
Beautiful.
And because the color is much more pronounced, they're more of a orangey. The color is much more vibrant than the regular sweet potato that you get. And the taste is really a little bit more savory. And so we're just gonna cut it down the middle and scoop out the flesh.
All right.
And so we
you
can
ready
just
for me to get started on that?
I'm ready for you to get started on that. And I roasted them. Well, I put them in the microwave. And instead of in the oven, because right now it's pretty hot, it's like 100 degrees. And I don't know what time of year you're going to watch this, but if you're watching this in the summertime, you're going to appreciate that tip. We can bake it in the microwave, depending on the size of the potatoes, anywhere from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. But just check it because you don't want to overcook. And when you take it out of the microwave, give it about a minute to rest because it's continuing the cooking process and you don't want to overcook. So while Christy is doing that, you just scoop it out
Yep.
and put it there. There you go. And we're going to mash it with our masher, but we have some more ingredients that we're going to add to it. There you go, girl. Don't
Look
be
at
afraid.
that color. That is
It's
beautiful.
beautiful, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And you know, sweet potatoes are a naturally good source of a lot of vitamins. And so if you are a diabetic, this is a great potato option for you rather than the white potato. White potatoes have much more carbs, and the sweet potatoes are less dense, and they just have a different flavor. And so all around, and you see that orange color, that's that beta carotene that's good for our eyes. Wish I had paid attention to that a long time ago. But at any rate, as Christy is doing that, what I'm going to do is I need a pound of shrimp, and we've got that pound of shrimp. And Christy, tell us where this shrimp came from, because it did not come from me.
No. These are some local shrimp. So now that's the beauty of living down on the coast in Galveston, is that you get local seafood.
Okay.
And I literally walked in the place today,
Mhm.
and the ladies were peeling these shrimp.
Wow.
So we've got good fresh
So
shrimp.
they are fresh.
They are good
And
fresh.
it's nothing like fresh.
Right.
Okay, so while you're peeling those potatoes, here is the butter that's going to go into that. So once you finish that, you're just going to incorporate that butter. And then about half of this, there's your half and half, which is what the recipe calls for. And we've got some seasoning that I whipped up, and we're going to put maybe about a tablespoon of that. And once we mash it, we can taste test it and see if it needs a little bit more. We can always add more, but once you put in too much, you can't take it away. So that's the way I like to do it. And while that is going on, I'm going to go ahead and turn on this hot plate. So yeah, just empty it right
Empty
there.
that right there,
Uh-huh.
because we're going to need that again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so while
Do a
we're
little
doing
mashing.
that, and I've got a potato masher in
Oh,
there.
look at there.
Look at there. And so while she's mashing that, I'm going to take the hot plate and move it over to this side. Just going to do a little
Let's
quick-
dance.
Yeah, let's dance. And let me move it over here. And this pot is heavy.
There you go.
And there we go. So there's your spoon. And so now what I'm going to do is, as this heats up, I have some bacon fat. I fried, some bacon fat, right? We love our bacon. Who doesn't like bacon, bacon, bacon? So we're going to use the bacon fat. I'm going to reach over, pardon me, and just put that into the pan, because we're going to saute the shrimp in the bacon fat just to add some flavor. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is I've got some red bell pepper and some yellow bell pepper. And while that is heating up, I'm going to add that to the pan, but I'm going to, cut it up a little bit.
You looking for that?
No, I need the cutting board.
Oh, you need the cutting board.
Yes.
I didn't realize
Okay.
I had.
Yeah, we have to
Isn't that
share. We have to share in the kitchen. So we got our cutting board. And what I'm going to do now is give this a quick julienne. I'm just going to slice them thin so that they will saute quickly. Okay.
Perfect.
So I'm going to start off with our red bell peppers. And I already have the onion chopped. Okay, so I'm going to grab my knife and give these a quick slice. I may not use all of these, but I absolutely love bell pepper. Chrissy, how are you?
Me too. I love
Okay.
bell pepper, and I love the different colors.
Uh-huh.
That's what makes it so inviting for everybody, just to have.
Yeah, and one of the things that we really talk a lot about is nutrition in our cookbooks. And what we want to do is always create a plate that has a rainbow effect. The more colors, the more nutrition. And red bell peppers are sweet. I'm not going to use the green bell peppers because I like the sweetness of these, and it's a great compliment. Oops, sorry about that. That water gave a little splash, so we can just keep that on there. And what I'm going to do to keep us from being splashed is get my guard. So I'm going to get my guard and place it on that, and that's going to keep us safe from that splash. So while that's continuing to saute, I'm going to give these yellow bell peppers. And I have this on a very low heat. It doesn't need to be high. because we don't want to burn it.
And you told me about a teaspoonful of that
Yeah.
seasoning, right?
And then what you can do is give it a little taste and see if that's to your liking.
Okay.
And that's coming up so creamy and rich.
That's what I
and
was saying.
smooth.
This is so smooth.
Have you ever done mashed sweet potatoes?
I have never done mashed sweet potatoes, and I love the idea of using the half and half. I have now used the half and half.
Okay.
I do the butter, and I would do a little bit of milk.
Okay.
But
and your husband, is he still on the keto-friendly diet? I know at one point he was.
He is. He stays on that keto-friendly diet, so you know this half and half, you can use it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly
So
it.
for the rest of you out there that might be doing a keto-friendly diet, this is a great recipe for you guys. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir so that these veggies can start to saute. And you know what? Shrimp cooks very quickly. And so once this is sauteed, then the shrimp is going to go in. If you want to, you can add a little bit of garlic. I didn't have garlic in the recipe, but I am a garlic lover. And just to be honest with you, I would definitely add a little bit of garlic.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay,
I would
how
definitely
to
add
give
a bit
that
of
a taste?
Oh, I think these are really good.
Uh-huh.
I probably would prefer a little more seasoning, but I want to.
But you can put some more in there.
All right.
Because you're going to eat this.
Okay.
Because this is what it's all about. You create it. We give you the basic recipe. We give you some seasonings, and you can always add. Like I said, garlic is not in the recipe, but if you're a garlic lover, the garlic is a great complement to those sweet potatoes. And probably something that you never thought of, garlic and sweet potatoes, because we tend to do the sugar, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the butter with the sweet potatoes. But this is a sweet and savory dish. So while that's sauteing, then I'm going to get this shrimp ready.
Okay.
And so for the shrimp, what I'm going to do, I have a little bit of a different seasoning, a jerk seasoning.
Now, did you make that jerk seasoning yourself?
Well, I purchased a jerk seasoning, but of course I added a little bit more, a little bit more heat to it. And so while this shrimp has been rinsed and washed, I'm just going to add some jerk to it, the jerk seasoning. And the nice thing about shrimp is it's so delicate, it absorbs
It does.
all of those flavors very quickly. So while with some meats, you need to overnight marinate and do things like that, the shrimp will take it on in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to do that. Of course, you could marinate it overnight if you wanted to. That's your choice. And if you do it overnight, then it's really going to be seasoned all the way through. So
No, and I like that you start with the bacon grease. See, I never start with the bacon grease.
Oh,
So that
what do you start with?
I just start with a little oil.
A little oil.
A little oil, but I'm thinking how great, because the shrimp is going to absorb
Absolutely. That bacon fat and that flavor is going to be pronounced.
Yep.
The other thing that you could do is add a little butter.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Oh, butter makes everything better.
Julia Child said, no fat, no flavor, no fun. And I'm on Julia's side.
I am too. I'm with you
that.
there. Yeah, we definitely got to do butter.
Yeah. And we don't want to overcook our vegetables because the brightness will start to fade. And so with this shrimp, I'm now ready to add the shrimp. So I'm going to do this to protect my cooking friend.
Got it here. I got it. I'll hold this.
You hold that.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, because I'm ready for the splash.
Yeah, and the splash is going to come
Yeah,
because the
it's
shrimp do have some water in them.
Absolutely.
And so you can't avoid that.
Yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
this
really?
is going to be so good. And you only cook the shrimp until it starts to turn pink. You don't want to overcook it. And you can remove it from the heat, and it's going to continue to cook. And the shrimp will like draw up or reduce in size as it cooks, and that's another reason why you don't want to overcook it. You start off with these great big shrimp, and then you say, what happened to my shrimp? Like they disappeared.
Okay, don't leave one in here.
No, I've got all of them taken care of.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to
You want this or you good?
I think we're going to cover it. No, put it back on there because
Okay.
I'm going to have to add a little bit of chicken broth
Okay.
to that. So while that's cooking up, sauteing up, the last two things that we're going to add to it are some sliced mushrooms and some chicken broth. And always a little bit of lemon juice kind of wakes up the flavor in everything. And so I need to wash my hands because I had that shrimp in my hand.
Right, that's exactly what I just did. Now with the lemon juice, you're going to add that last, right?
Yes, because it's just like a brightener.
Are you going to take it
up.
off the heat before you add the lemon juice, or are you going to add the lemon juice?
I think I'm going to add the lemon juice once we plate it up.
Okay.
And that way we won't lose it.
Okay.
And so here is the lemon. Here is my juicer.
Let me do that.
And we're going to use this knife right here. Yeah, take the cutting board because I'm done with it. Wow. It's starting to turn pink, guys.
Wish we had smell-o-vision.
Absolutely. I don't want to overcook my shrimp. Neither do I want to overcook my mushrooms. So I'm going to go ahead and add those mushrooms now.
Those are just fresh sliced mushrooms.
Fresh sliced mushrooms. And again, I'm going to raise the heat because, as you can hear and see, just adding that liquid automatically decreases the heat. And so we can heat this up a bit. But those shrimp are starting to turn pink. And at the end of this, I'm going to add a little bit of that cream, that half and half, to thicken this up. And if I really wanted to do like a down-home roux, I could take away all of the ingredients and leave that broth in there, add a little bit of flour. Because I know roux is a Louisiana thing.
It is a Louisiana thing.
And I haven't seen anything that is cooked without a roux somewhere in the
I think you got to start
recipe.
with one. Yeah.
So, oh wow, this is really looking good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to overcook anything because it really just takes away the flavor. Now, another choice that you have is to put the mushrooms in as you saute the other vegetables. And again, you don't want to overcook. And you know, sometimes we cook things and then we have leftovers. And that's even another reason why you don't want to overcook, because when you start to reheat, you're actually recooking. And so we want this to remain as fresh and bright as possible. I just really want to jump into this, Christy. I'm having such a hard time talking about this.
That is so good. That looks so yummy.
So, Christy.
I love those mushrooms. See, I do something kind of like this. Like I said, I start with olive oil, maybe a little butter, but never put the mushrooms in it. I do bell pepper, celery, a little onion. But yeah.
Just a little
extra.
Just a little bit of difference. And what's that word that you guys use in Louisiana
little
for extra? A
little lagniappe.
Lagniappe.
You got that. Yeah. A little extra.
The first time I came, when I moved to Houston, and I would see all the menus, and it would say lagniappe, and I was like, "What's that?" And they said, "Oh, that's a little extra."
Extra
Sauce, and they just called it that.
That's exactly it.
And you guys are just phenomenal cooks in Louisiana. I know when I would visit New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
There you go.
And Nolans.
Yes.
That I never was disappointed, no matter where I ate.
Oh, goodness.
Whether in the French Quarter or just a mom and pop shop. And I was in Gonzales, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody took me to a little meat market, a little mom and pop.
That's what I was going to tell you. If you stop on the side of the road, anywhere on I-10, and in one of those little mom and pop meat markets, it is amazing.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Great stuff, no matter where you go.
And she is not just showing favoritism. She is speaking the absolute truth.
It is.
Now,
what are we doing with that bacon?
That's what I was just getting ready to get to. Now, we had fried up that bacon for the fat. And I used only about 2 tablespoons of bacon fat. I didn't need a whole lot of fat. And the reason this bacon is so crispy is because I cooked it in the oven.
There you go.
I didn't use the frying pan, and so it's a lot cleaner. I baked it in the oven on 400 for about 20 minutes from start to finish. I put it in cold. I didn't let the oven preheat because that stops the shrinkage. And I put it on parchment paper, and then just drained off about 2 tablespoons of
So
the
you
fat.
didn't put it on a rack on the cookie
No.
sheet. You just put the parchment
Paper.
Okay.
Put it directly on top,
Okay.
and that way it didn't burn, and it's a little crispy. And once we plate this, we're gonna crumble some bacon pieces
There we
on
go.
top. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do with that bacon. Of course, anything that's left is for a BLT in the morning.
There you go. That's exactly it.
All right.
That's
So this
That looks-
is. We are. You can just pop that over there in
Got
the
it.
sink. We are done with that, and now we want to plate it up. And a
Okay.
great side dish. And Christy, thank you for these beautiful tomatoes from your garden. And tell the audience what's the name of these tomatoes.
Juliet tomatoes.
Juliet.
Yes,
And
yes.
why are they called?
And
you
I
know
have
why
to.
they called
I do
Juliet?
not know. I have to confess, those came from my cousin.
Okay.
Because we're all about family and friends,
Absolutely.
right? We
Right.
share. And so this week we were visiting with each other, and she brought me these beautiful
Wow.
Juliet tomatoes. They're a little bigger than the grape, but they're still sweet like the grape tomatoes.
So what I want you to do with these is slice them maybe into quarters.
Okay.
And I already have some green beans that are steamed with some roasted garlic as a nice side. And we're just going to brighten that up, freshen it up with those fresh tomatoes, and just add that on top. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to start plating this. I'm going to add a little bit of cream. Don't need much. And again, you could add, see what that does?
Yeah.
I could add a little bit of flour to thicken it up, or cornstarch.
Yep. Oh, but I like it.
But I
this
don't
way.
have a lot of liquid
Yeah.
in here. I don't, and you know what, with things are spicy, because this is a spicy dish, when you add the milk or the cream, it cuts back the spice. So just a little tip. You know, if you eat one of those really hot peppers and people are saying, give me water, give me water, give me water, the best thing to do is get a glass of milk or dairy, because that helps to cool it down. All right, so that is looking fantastic.
Yes.
I've got a plate here.
Okay, you want me to hold that, or
What I
can I
would
do to
like
help
for
you?
you to do is to put some of those sweet potatoes at the bottom. That's going to be the base, and so we're going to build our platter.
all right.
So think of family style. But there's some people I know this would be like, that's
Oh.
my plate.
Okay, so we're gonna build it. All right, I'm
Yeah.
with you now. All right.
Okay,
I was
and
gonna
then-
do one little serving.
Oh no. And so let me see that spoon.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're just going to kind of
Ah.
do that, press it out, because we're going to add that shrimp, and then we're going to kind of make a well in there to put the shrimp in.
You know, I kind of think of this as like shrimp and grits, but so much better with the
Yeah.
sweet potatoes.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
So you could actually do the same treatment of the shrimp, but I then definitely would need a roux
Yeah.
for the shrimp and grits, and of course a few more flavors. But you know what, when I do my shrimp and grits, one of the things that I have started to do is I saute my shrimp in white wine, and then I make my roux with the white wine and the chicken broth, and then I also do the andouille sausage,
Yeah.
and of course in bacon fat.
And bacon fat.
Of course,
Bacon fat and butter.
Bacon fat and butter. And what
Two key
happens
ingredients.
is with that, when we do that, could you hand me those tongs? What it does is it really gives a depth of flavor that is just absolutely wonderful. And by cooking it separately, because some people have allergies to shrimp, but they
yeah.
like the idea of a shrimp and grits, so they get the sausage and the grits, and then if somebody wants to add the shrimp on top, they can do that. Now, what I'd like for you to do, Christy, is to drop some of those fresh Juliet tomatoes on there.
How's
yeah.
Like that.
Yes, we want color. Oh
Okay,
my
we good?
gosh, we're good. Well, let's take some off, because I
Okay.
want some of those for
What-
later.
okay.
We're not gonna
You
use
got
it all on here. We're gonna.
You got it.
I'm gonna make me a little salad later on with those puppies. And let's see, I've got a pepper grinder right there in the back with the red pepper. And let's throw some red pepper flakes. I'm gonna let you.
Okay. And then don't forget our lemon juice.
Oh yeah.
I worked
So-
hard on that lemon juice.
I know, and so just turn that over.
And you weren't
And
on
just
all
a
of it?
few, yeah, just a quick grind around. like a trip around the sun. There you go. That's it.
Love it.
All right. And I'm just going to kind of keep it over here on the, see how that brightens it up a little bit? And then on the shrimp, just a little bit, because we don't want our sweet potatoes to really start to take on a lot of the lemon juice.
Yeah.
And anything else do we need to do? You know what? I think we need the bacon. Yes, absolutely.
Bacon.
I'm also going to, this is the easy part, or the fun part.
Yep.
As much or as little as you like.
Yeah.
Now, we've got some parsley. You know what I want you to do, girlfriend?
What you need me to do?
I've got my little herb scissors.
All right. These are fancy.
It keeps my fingers intact. And I'd like for you just to clip, snip, snip.
Got it.
Just to put a little garnish of the parsley. And yeah, we go high so that it just drops down where it will. And we're going to be done.
Pinch, dash,
and done. Yeah. So, isn't this beautiful?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is a beautiful plate. It smells good. We know it tastes. We can't wait to get into this, right? Now, is this in a fancy restaurant, this would be a serving for two.
Yes.
But in Louisiana, it's definitely a serving for one.
It definitely is a serving for one.
How about that?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, you know what? That's a complete dinner.
Oh, yes.
We could have a little salad on the side. But how about something to drink?
Oh, that sounds
really good. So, Christy, that smells so delicious.
It does.
But it's not going to be complete without a good drink.
I'm with you there.
All right. So again, all of these recipes are in our cookbook. These recipes today are from cookbook number 1. And so we have done our jerk shrimp.
Yes.
Over our mashed sweet potatoes. And now we're going to do a limoncello lemonade.
Ooh, that sounds...
So it's lemonade with a twist. It's a little elevated lemonade. So if you want to do a non-alcoholic version, you can simply use sparkling water or a lemon or lime flavored sparkling water, or you could use a sparkling grape juice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So... But today,
we're going to have the wine.
We're going to have the wine today. I think we deserve it. So I'm going to fill this carafe with our wine. And I'm choosing a Moscato because it just simply, it's a sweet.
Yeah.
It's a sweet wine.
Well, it's going to go well with the shrimp.
Absolutely. So that white wine always pairs well with seafood. And to this, we're going to add our lemon slices. So you could just drop those down in there.
All right.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this, if you prepare it early, then it can just infuse.
Yeah.
But the next thing that we're adding is rosemary. Yes. And so we're just going to put that down in there. And again, if you prepared this in advance, then that rosemary would infuse all the way through. When I make lemonade now, just plain old lemonade, I add rosemary. I do a sparkling water and rosemary and lemon. And it's one of the things that makes me get my water in to stay hydrated because it gives it a little flavor.
Now I have to ask you, have you ever used rosemary skewers with the shrimp?
Oh, absolutely.
That's one of my
and we talked about that in one of the previous episodes with Chef Tim.
Awesome.
That when we use that rosemary, I keep the stems.
Yep.
And I poke it through the meat to infuse that meat. Yes. And especially, I like to season my meat as soon as I get it, even if it's going in the freezer. And by poking those stems in, and by the time I'm ready to get that out and cook it, it's Flavor Town.
Yep.
Absolutely. So here comes the little twist, is the limoncello. And I'm just going to pour a generous amount. And how about the smell of that?
Love it.
Okay, you know what? We were continuing our conversation as we were transitioning from making this beautiful plate here to this. And what did you say about eating with the eye and with smell and with our taste buds?
So I was talking recently, I was reading an article that talked about how few different types of food you taste with your tongue, but it's your eyes and your nose that you taste all that with.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so important to have all those rainbow of colors right there.
Absolutely. So this is a way to get people who would not ordinarily try some things, because it's first going to appeal to their eye.
Yeah.
And once that eye gets, oh wow, that really looks good, and then the olfactory nerves kick in, it smells good, and then it's going to taste good because you've already presented it to the brain.
You're right.
In the visual form, and then through the olfactory nerve. All right, so I just let this sit for a minute. Ooh, look at that. And I have the right picture. You know, sometimes it's all about presentation.
I love it.
So we have the color, we have the green, we have the yellow from the lemon, the brightness, and well, things can look good, but it's also got to what?
Tastes good.
Tastes good.
And
So
it smells
crispy.
so good.
Yeah, it's light and fresh.
Yeah.
So we're going to place that up there for our viewing audience, because we really want them to try this.
Yeah. And y'all saw this took less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. This is a quick one.
So pretty too.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Oh, you know what? Let's not be stingy. Let's put a little bit more over there.
You know, these math people, we do like symmetry.
We like symmetry.
We love symmetry.
We love symmetry.
We can't help it.
we cannot help ourselves. It is in our DNA. Well, Christie, I want to thank you for being my guest today and coming into my home and helping me to present a flavorful recipe to our viewing audience. Remember, our show is about cooking with friends. This is my gal pal, Christie.
It was an honor and a pleasure to be here, and I am so thrilled because you can find Pinch Done at the Galveston Bookshop. So come down and see us.
Yeah, come down and see us. And if you want these recipes, the only way you're going to get it is to visit our website, pinch-done.com. If you're not in Galveston, but if you're in the Galveston area, go down to the Galveston bookstore. And again, thank you so much. Our goal is to bring family back together around the table and share recipes and bring back food, fellowship, fun, because it makes those memories that we will be able to treasure a lifetime. So again, thank you, Christie.
Thank you. My pleasure.
If you are interested in having these recipes in your culinary closet, please visit our website, pinch-done.com, to order either cookbook number 1 or cookbook number 2 today. We appreciate you. Happy cooking.